I live in a quiet suburban neighborhood, the kind of place where nothing bad is supposed to happen. One winter night, I was sitting in the living room with just a single lamp on. The rest of the house was dark. Around 11:30, I went to grab some water from the kitchen. My blinds above the sink were half open, giving me a sliver of the backyard view. That's when I froze. Through the window, I could see the faint outline of a man's face. Pale skin, dark eyes, and an expression that didn't change even when I noticed him. For a long moment, I stood completely still, glass in hand, not sure if my eyes were playing tricks on me. Then slowly his head tilted. Just a slight tilt, but enough to make me drop the glass. The shatter echoed through the house. I rushed for my phone, dialed 911, and whispered to the dispatcher what I saw. The whole time, I swore I could hear breathing through the thin window glass. When the police finally arrived, they found footprints in the snow right beneath the window. They led into my backyard, but here's the part that still chills me. The footprints stopped right in the middle of the yard. There were no tracks leading out. It was like whoever it was just disappeared. Back when I was 19, I worked the night shift at a small gas station. It was the kind of place where after 1 a.m. nobody really came in, and I spent most of the night stocking shelves or reading. Around 2:30 one night, I was behind the counter when I heard a faint tapping. Not on the front door, but on the big glass window beside the slushy machine. I looked up and my heart nearly stopped. Pressed against the glass was a face. A man's face, grinning ear to ear, his eyes wide open and unblinking. I jumped back, instinctively shouting, "We're closed." Even though the gas station never actually closed, he didn't move. Just kept staring, smiling, and tapping his fingernail against the glass. I went to the back to call my manager, and when I came back up front, the window was empty. I thought he was gone until I saw him standing outside the main doors, now closer this time, staring straight at me. I dialed the police, but by the time they came, he was long gone. The creepiest part? When I stepped outside with the officer, he pointed something out I hadn't noticed. On the window where the man's face had been pressed, there were smudges. Greasy marks in the perfect shape of lips. He hadn't just been smiling. He had been kissing the glass over and over. A couple of years ago, my cousin invited me to spend a weekend at his family's cabin in the woods. It was secluded, no neighbors, no self-service, just us, some food, and a fireplace. The first night was peaceful until around midnight when I woke up to the sound of faint crunching outside, like footsteps in the leaves. I brushed it off as an animal and tried to go back to sleep. But then I heard it again, this time closer. I sat up and glanced toward the window beside the bed. There, in the faint glow of moonlight, was a face, staring right at me through the glass. I screamed for my cousin, but by the time he rushed in, the window was empty. We both went outside with flashlights, circling the cabin, but we didn't see anyone. The next night, it happened again. This time, I saw the face longer. It was a woman, pale, with long black hair covering most of her features, but her mouth was twisted into this horrible grin. We packed our bags at dawn and left that morning. A week later, my cousin called me. He had gone back to grab a few things. On the cabin's dusty porch, he found a drawing scratched into the wood with something sharp dot. It was a crude sketch of the cabin itself, with two faces drawn inside the window. Those were 3 disturbing true stories of faces seen through windows. Which story scared you the most? Comment below and subscribe for more true horror stories.